Hello everyone, this is Lincolnus Prime, and today we are taking a look at the brand new Playmates Shin Godzilla. I just gotta say, this was one release that I was very excited for when they announced it, and when I first saw what this figure looked like, kind of in like up close in hand images, I really got excited because this thing is leagues better than whatever the hell that last Shin Godzilla figure was. But Playmates did hear their fans, and they did listen, and now we finally have an even better Shin Godzilla figure from them. Now, I do not own the original Playmates Shin Godzilla figure because of the fact that, first off, it's too hard to find, and second off, I kind of only wanted to get it for, the joke, because I think it's funny. I think it would be funny to own it just for the simple fact that it just looks so insanely goofy. But I don't know. I'd rather have this, honestly, because oh my god, I love this figure so much. Now, yes, people will say that it's not perfect, and I do agree. This is not a perfect figure. It does have some issues here and there, but at the same time, this is still a vast improvement. The proportions on this figure look absolutely amazing, and you can easily tell that this is Shin Godzilla, unlike but the overall silhouette of this Goji boy is absolutely amazing. Now, I do want to get these out of the way, but these are more so my issues with the figure, and this is issues that more people have with this figure, and I guess I'm not the only one, but he falls over too easily, and that is because of how the legs are molded. This is one of the problems that I have when it comes to pre-posed action figures. We had this situation with the new Playmates Gorosaurus figure. We had this issue with the Jet Jaguar figure, and now we have it with this figure. So I feel like Playmates should at least not make their figures pre-posed, or if they are going to do so, then maybe just find a way to make it to where it can still, stand. But yeah, it just, because of all the weight on it this side, especially with the tail, it doesn't necessarily help for when it comes to standing it up. Because I can feel the weight, like whenever I'm like holding this side feels a little bit more heavier than this side, so that really does not help its case. So one thing that I usually tend to do is I just bring the tail down, kind of bring it off to the side as much as I can, and then just kind of put him there. And it makes it easier for him to stand up, but at the same time, he still has the issue. So that's one problem that I have. And then the second issue that I have is more so just a problem with my copy. This isn't really something that most people might have to worry about, but the figure's a damn maraca. There's a piece of plastic that somehow broke off inside the leg, and I don't know how it did. But at the same time, it's hard plastic, so I wouldn't be surprised if something happened in shipping or while it was being, handled, and just something on the inside broke. But I don't know how that's possible, and there's no way for me to fix it. I mean, well, technically there is. I could just pop off the foot, but I did try, and all it did was end up making it insanely loose. So, yeah. So I'm just going to be stuck with for that. Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much majority of the big complaints that I have about this figure. The head is still kind of goofy, but it looks better than the last version. So I'm not really gonna mark off points for how this figure looks, because at the same time, this was a $12 kid's toy, and for a $12 kid's toy, this actually does look really good. So yeah, but those are really just, when it comes to the fact that he can't stand and that rattling, that's really my only issues and gripes with this figure. And to top off the sandwich with the piece of bread, I would like to point out how good the sculpt in certain parts of this figure do look. I really like the bumpy, kind of rough textures of the of the skin, which does look very nice. There are some aspects, like right in here in the neck and when it gets to the head, where it just does get lost in the sculpt, and that's just a sad truth with figures like this most of the time. So it's not something huge, but I would like to say the torso plates look super super good in my opinion. I love how they did these, and they are kind of like a soft plastic. They are skinnier than like the Bandai Movie Monster series dorsal plates, which I do actually like, because I just like skinny dorsal plates. But there is something telling me that these might be the same dorsal plates that they used on the last Shin Godzilla figure, because they look very similar. Like, if I'm wrong, just let me know, but they look similar, and they honestly remind me of the NECA figure, which I mean I don't own, but like, if I'm pretty sure the NECA figure had these same exact dorsal plates. So if I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, just tell me in the comments. But yeah, just getting major NECA vibes and from these dorsal plates. But yeah, now when it comes to the paint, this is the only area that most people really have a huge issue with, and honestly, it's not too bad to me. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad, but it is on both sides. This side really got the worst end of it, though. But when it comes to the paint in this area, it does look pretty nice, and they did like a dry brushing effect right here in the neck, which I really, really like. And they did the same thing with like the dorsal plates as well. And then there is like the red sections here and here on both sides of the tail, which they didn't really paint throughout the entire tail, which I think that they should have, but yeah, it's not a huge deal. And then there is the red on the tip of the tail. Now, I would like to point out, the first Playmate Shin Godzilla had a better like tip of the tail. It was better, but that was mainly because the figure itself, like the past Playmates Godzilla figure or Shin Godzilla, was pretty much just an official bootleg NECA Shin Godzilla. That's really all it was. So, but this is just kind of like it gets lost in the sculpt. You don't even see like the face. Like, there's no face there. There's just nothing. So yeah, but in terms of like other cool aspects of the sculpt, like the tail looks very nice. I kind of like the curved shape of it. That does look accurate to the movie, and the overall physique of Shin Goji here is pretty good. I would like to point something out though. The eyes are also painted evenly. They are literally painted perfectly, which I love. And then the teeth are also painted pretty decently too, so that's another cool thing. And then we get to the inside of the mouth, which is something I do want to point out. He has a tongue. I'm pretty sure Shin Godzilla never had a tongue, but they gave him a tongue. So, yeah. I guess they felt bad for him and wanted to, give him the opportunity to taste. Bro's already suffering enough. I mean, it makes it even worse when you can't taste your food, but, tongue, okay. But yeah, no, I really, really like this figure, and I'm super, super glad that I was able to find him and pick him up. Now, Shin here does have articulation, but he has less articulation than the last Playmates figure had, which isn't a huge deal, but I kind of wish it transferred over in terms of articulation to this figure, but not a huge deal, like I said. But when it comes to articulation, we do get a swivel at the head, and it can rotate all the way around like so. The arms do move all the way around, full 360 on both sides like so. Another thing I do want to mention, the arms, these are probably the best arms I've seen for a Shin Godzilla figure, because these arms are more accurate than what we've ever gotten for Shin. Like, they have that skinniness to it. They have like the tiny T-Rex type arms, and I do like that. So that is a good inclusion. I'm glad that they did that and made it accurate. Legs can rotate all the way around, but you kind of have to move that out of the way. They can rotate all the way around on both sides, like so and like so. And the feet are on little pivot joints as well. And then the tail here is on a ball joint, so it can go in all sorts of directions and all the way around. So articulation is, while it's minimal, it's actually still pretty good. So when it comes to articulation, that is one aspect that they did do decently on. And for a size comparison, here we have the new Playmates Shin Godzilla next to the new Monsterverse Godzilla 2014, the Playmates 2021 Godzilla, SH Monster Arts 2021 Godzilla, and the Bandai Movie Monster Series Shin Godzilla. Now, when it comes to which one I would prefer, when it comes to accuracy, I would prefer Bandai Movie Monster series. But when it comes to playability and just overall a fun figure in itself, I would recommend the Playmates. Playmates is good. This one's more accurate, but this one has more articulation and a little bit more play features. And it has more paint too, which I also appreciate. While the paint job on this figure is slightly better, it is very, very minimal. And the other thing is his pupils aren't even painted, which this one, the pupils on this one are. So really, it goes both ways. This one has good features about it, this one has good features about it, this one has not so great features about it, this one also does not have great features about it, but they're both still equally good in my humble opinion. And for my final comments on this figure, I would highly, highly suggest picking this up if you're a huge fan of Shin Godzilla, and if you just want to redo on the fact that Playmates has now given us a proper Shin Godzilla figure. But here's the thing. When it comes to this figure, for a little context here, it took me around 25 targets to find this figure. Yeah, I know that sounds insanely crazy, but when it comes to the fact that there are still, shipping like containment boats stuck, most of these guys are on those shipping, on those ships, on those boats. So I would not expect to see any of these figures in stores for a good while. The distribution of these figures was honestly not the greatest on Playmates' part, but at the same time, you can't really blame them for something that's out of their control, considering this current, state that everything is in, the world is in right now. So this one gave me a huge struggle trying to find. And where I live, I was never able to find it at any of the Targets in my city. I was never able to find it anywhere. Even in California, not even able to find it there. Took a trip to Florida, that's where I found it. I found it literally all the way across the country in Florida, of all places. So the fact that I was, and that's the other thing. I only found this one where I found it, and I've never seen it again. So when I picked it up, that was like the last time I'm probably going to see it for a good while. And thank God that it was there, because I will probably, like I said, probably not be able to find this figure for a really long time. So if you can find it, pick it up as soon as possible, because you might not get the chance to find this figure for a really long time. The other good thing is it's only $12, so it should be doable for most people. So if you do find it, definitely pick it up. Just bite the bullet. If just find some way of getting it if you really want to get it, because it is just that hard to find. So yeah, highly recommended. Just, oh my God, this thing gave me a huge struggle. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.